Hi everyone. It's the first day of spring, or the vernal equinox here in Southern California. I'm in Zone 10B. The length of day and night is about equal in all parts of the world. It's a time of renewal and symbolizes the rebirth of nature and new beginnings. This is a time of transition in our garden as we finish up cool season veggies and prepare to plant warm season veggies in the coming months. In this video, I'll take you on a tour of our container garden and harvest some veggies. I'll also be doing some chores. I'll plant sweet potato slips in grow bags. I'll amend the soil in containers with homemade leaf mold, compost, and organic fertilizer. I'll be transplanting Dwarf Pak Choi and Swiss Chard seedlings, and Ginger will help me harvest yellow potatoes. We would love to hear from you in the comments about any connections you have as you watch this video. If you get anything out of the video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. We would really appreciate it. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I planted sweet potato slips into these 20-gallon containers, and you would never know that they're there because all the leaves are gone. Something ate the leaves. I left them unprotected for about a half a day, and when I came out later in the evening, the leaves were gone. Something ate them. I suspect it was probably a bird, but I don't know for sure. So I am going to replace these with some slips that I kept. So I'm going to pull these off and plant them to replace the slips that I put in here last week. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is take out this mulch. All right, so here is one of the slips. You can see again, no leaves or foliage at the top because something ate it. So we're going to discard this. All right, so we're going to replace these. Let's take a look at this tray of slips. So these are the purple sweet potatoes here, and I'm going to remove 3 of these from here. Okay, so you see some nice roots on this one, so we'll use that one. Let's pull out these down here. They have a nice root system. Okay, let's look at all of these and choose 3. Okay, so there's 2 there. There's 1. This is 1, and I think I'll use this one. This one I'll plant deep, so I'm going to pinch off these side shoots and just leave the leaf at the tip. Now you'll notice right here, I pinched this out about a week ago. So this is a nice thick slip. This looks really good here. So that one I'll plant deep. And then this one here, I'll plant this one shallow. It's got a nice root system, so I'll pinch out those leaves and plant that shallow. And let's see, I think I'll plant this one. This has got a nice root system. And I'll pinch out these leaves here. This one I will plant in the middle. Okay, let's go ahead and plant the long slip first. So we'll go in with this post and carve out a little hole. Then I like using the post to help me bury this slip. Okay, so we'll go to about there. That's pretty deep. That's the long one. And then I'll backfill with some of the soil. Okay. This one I'm going to plant about medium depth. So again, I'm going to make a hole, not as deep. And drop this one down. Okay. And backfill with soil. So the idea here is to plant this slip down towards the bottom. This one about halfway up from the bottom. And this is the shortest one. I'll bury this shallow, so just about 6 to 8 inches deep. So the hope is that we're going to get sweet potatoes throughout the depth of the pot. So we got short, medium, and deep. Okay, so those are planted. Then I will take this mulch and return it to the pot to keep that soil from drying out. Okay. Now I want to try to get water in this as soon as possible because I don't want these roots to dry out. Okay, that is done. So I'll go ahead and put a cage over it and make sure no critters get to those leaves. I have 2 pots of Corvair spinach. Here's one pot, and here is the second one. I'm going to pull these plants and harvest the leaves, then amend the soil with leaf mold, compost, and an organic fertilizer. We've been harvesting spinach off of these plants for a couple of months now, so we're just going to pull them. They're starting to get tired out. I'm going to pull the whole plant, so go right down to the bottom and pull out the whole plant. Okay, so there's a lot of spinach there to harvest. So I'll set that aside. Try to knock off as much of that soil as possible. Okay. All right. Okay, take a look at all of this spinach that we harvested today. We just pulled spinach plants out of this pot, so I'm going to remove the mulch and amend the soil. And for those of you who watch our channel, you know how much I love this mulch. So important in container gardening. So let's go ahead and remove this, and then we will amend with leaf mold, compost, and an organic fertilizer. I'm going to add a scoop of this homemade leaf mold, and as soon as I drop that in there, I already see these beautiful worms that have taken residence in the leaf mold. And I am going to add a scoop of this compost, quality bag compost. Okay. And lastly, I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of this organic fertilizer. This is EB Stone Organics. It's a 4-5-3 blend of NPK. Not too much, just a couple of tablespoons. And I'm going to gently till this in. As I said before, I don't like going too deep into the soil because I don't want to disrupt the structure of the soil where all of those wonderful worms are residing. So I'm just going to till it in lightly, and this is ready to receive the plants. So I have these Dwarf Pak Choi. This variety is called Baby Choi. Here are the seeds. And this is a pretty large pot. It's 15 gallons. So I'm going to plant 3 of these cells into the pot. Okay, there's one. second one. And a third one. And let's go ahead and drop these into a hole. Okay. Trying to be careful to not disrupt the roots too much of these transplants. Okay. I moved these outdoors about a week ago to acclimate them. Okay, that looks better. It looks like multiple seeds germinated. So as these grow out, I will thin back to the healthiest and strongest seedling. Okay, so those are in, and I'm going to return the mulch. I have 4 pots of this Pak Choi called Joy Choi, and this has been a fantastic performer. We've been picking the leaves off, so it's a great cut and come again vegetable. We use this in salads and Asian hot pot, and Ginger will use this chopped in her Japanese dumplings. So let's go ahead and pick some of this Pak Choi. This kale is another great performer for us this season. We've been harvesting kale for several months, and it just keeps coming back. I've got 2 plants, so I'll pick the leaves from this one here in the foreground, and we love using this, like with the pak choi in our salads, as well as Asian style hot pot. It really gives some hardiness to our chopped salads, and we just absolutely love this kale. Okay, so there we have kale. We're trying this curly kale for the first time this season, so it's looking really healthy. Let's go ahead and pick some of this curly kale. And in this pot I have a purple tree kale. First time growing this. Apparently, according to the nursery professional that I purchased it from, this gets quite large and it'll grow through the spring and into the summer. So I'm really interested to see how this one does. Into this pot, I'm going to plant these mustard greens. This variety is called Red Giant Curled. This was actually in one 4-inch pot and they're all clustered together. So I divided them and planted them into individual cells. So let's take a look at what they look like. Oh yeah, so they look great. Those roots are nicely developed and it's ready to be planted. So I'm going to plant 3 into this pot. Again, this is a larger pot. It's 15 gallons. So typically, you plant 1 of these per pot, but since it's such a large pot, I'm going to plant 3 of these. I divided these about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and they look really great. Look at those beautiful roots. All right, so let's go ahead and make a hole for these. Drop that in. some mulch in there. And let's put that label in and water this in. Okay, mustard greens are planted. Into this pot, I sowed Japanese turnips. And here you see the seed packet. You'll notice that I have this burlap over the top. So let's go ahead and take this off. And see what we have here. Okay. Looks good. So here you see all these seedlings that are coming up. If you'd like to see how I sow these seeds, take a look at the description. In this 20-gallon pot, I have Daikon radishes. We love Daikon Japanese style, using it as oroshi and oden and nimono. So let's go ahead and pull one and see what it looks like. All right, I'm going to first untie this twine that I'm using to wrap the greens. And let's try pulling this one right here in front. Okay, this is in pretty loose soil. Okay, not huge, but not bad. A little bit on the smaller side. I could probably let it go a little longer, but that's not too bad. And of course, we'll use the greens as well and cook these up. So I'm going to pull one more. Let's pull out this one too. Okay. Okay, it's about the same size as the other one. Beautifully shaped. Okay. Take a look at this beautiful pot of Swiss chard. This is the Bright Lights mix. So let's go ahead and pick some of this Swiss chard. I have 3 pots of beets that I'm growing in succession. This variety is Detroit Dark Red. And here's my oldest pot, and I think there's one in there that's ready to be picked. All right, let's take a look at this one right here. Oh, not too bad. Okay. And of course we have some nice greens. In this pot I have romaine lettuce. These are young plants, not quite ready to be picked. Here we have 2 pots of arugula, really delicious in salads. Back here I have 2 grow bags of red potatoes, and you can see them starting to die back. These were started back in December, and so they should be ready in another month or so. We're going to harvest some yellow potatoes from these grow bags, and Ginger's here to help me out. All right, let's go ahead and see what we have here. You can see that the plants have died back, so Ginger's going to remove the foliage and remove the mulch. Now the mulch we're going to save, so she's going to place it into another bag and we're going to reuse that. And you'll notice that we're not using soil to cover the potatoes. We're using this mulch, and it makes it a lot easier and cleaner actually to take out the potatoes. Okay, so this is all shredded cedar bark that she's pulling out. These plants are probably a good 18 to 24 inches long. So the potatoes are about a foot deep. So she'll probably have to dig quite a bit to get down to the potatoes. What I did back in November, so these were actually planted on November the 15th, is I had about 8 inches of soil at the bottom of these grow bags, and I placed the seed potatoes on top of the soil, and as they sprouted, I just added more and more mulch until the plants got to the top of the grow bag. Okay, we're getting deeper here. Let's see what we have. Nothing yet. See that they've died back, so... Oh, I see something. Yay, a potato!
Oop.
Oh, there's a nice one.
Oh, a little baby one. Oh.
Oh, there's another nice one there. Okay.
Oops.
So we're getting close to the soil level, and what Ginger's pulling out is mulch. And it looks like there's some more down there. There's another one. Very nice.
Oh.
Another nice one there. So I picked up these seed potatoes from an organic market, and it's a pretty nice little harvest. So here is the harvest from that one grow bag. Not bad. And you know, this is given the fact that we planted these in November and it's March. So these were grown during the cooler months here in zone 10B. This is the yield from that second grow bag, and then this is the yield from the first. So the first grow bag did better than the second one. All right, that's not a bad harvest. Good job. All right, thanks, honey. In this pot, I have garlic, 2 pots of green onions. Here's a really healthy pot of carrots. I think a couple of these might be ready to be picked, so let's pull out a few. Okay, let's take a look at this one right here. Okay, still a little bit on the small side. Let's try this one here. Okay, they're basically small snack size. Let's try this one here. A little bit bigger. All right. On the back table, I have more green onions, this beautiful pot of parsley, thyme, and those are a couple of pots of mint that I repotted. So there you have it. This was our spring garden update. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Let's take a look at what we harvested today. We have Daikon radishes, carrots, yellow potatoes, beets and beet greens, 2 types of kale, curly kale and dinosaur kale. And in this basket, we have Pak Choi and Swiss chard. Oh, I almost forgot this basket of Corvair spinach. Look at all of those leaves. This goes to show how productive a vegetable container garden can be. If you'd like to get more ideas on growing vegetables in containers, check the playlist on our channel. Please consider liking and sharing this video with people you know. Please consider subscribing to our channel. We would really appreciate your support. And as always, thank you so much for watching.